Okay, so imagine this. You're about to walk into a lift technician interview. But instead of feeling those nerves, you're feeling cool, calm, and confident. Like you know you're totally prepped and ready to just nail it. That's what we're going for today. We're doing a deep dive into all the materials you gave us, career guides, those sample interview questions. We even got some AI insights from RoleCatcher, all to help you absolutely ace that lift technician interview.
Yeah, preparation is really key. I mean, you really got to know what you're getting into with this role.
Right. So let's break that down a bit. What exactly does a lift technician do, like day to day?
Well, it's actually a pretty fascinating mix of skills. You need mechanical skills, electrical skills, a really strong understanding of safety. It all kind of comes together. You're not just fixing things, you're making sure these lifts are running smoothly and safely for everyone who uses them.
Yeah.
Think about it, the responsibility of keeping those lifts running in a busy skyscraper.
Oh, for sure.
Or even a hospital where every second counts.
Yeah. It's like you're the guardian of vertical transportation.
You got it.
Now, the career guide that you sent over, it mentions that there's some serious opportunity for growth in this field, right?
Absolutely. It's not just a job, it's a career path with a bunch of different stages to it. So you might start as an assistant, learning from more seasoned technicians, but as you get experience, you can move on to leading your own projects, maybe even specializing in a certain type of lift system. Some people even end up managing teams or going into supervisory roles.
Yeah, I was looking at those example profiles in the guide, and it's
Yeah.
pretty inspiring to see all the different paths people have taken.
Yeah.
It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of career,
Yeah.
You can really shape it based on your strengths and interests.
Exactly. That's what's so great about this field. There's so much room to grow, to specialize. And, technology keeps evolving, so there's always something new to learn and adapt to.
Speaking of tech, I think that's where RoleCatcher and its AI can really change the game for job seekers.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine having this personal AI coach that looks at job descriptions and then helps you tweak your resume, your answers, all to match exactly what those employers are looking for.
It's super powerful. Think of it like fine-tuning your responses. You can highlight all the right skills and really put your best foot forward.
Okay, let's dive into those interview questions.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is like the heart of our deep dive.
Right.
The first one is a real classic. What experience do you have with lifts? Now, you might be thinking, well, I'm just starting out. I don't have years of professional experience to talk about.
And that's totally okay.
Yep.
This question is just as much about your passion and initiative as it is about any formal experience. Have you ever tinkered with mechanical or electrical stuff, even just as a hobby?
Yeah.
Maybe you helped a friend fix their car or you built a robot in school, something like that. Those are all experiences that show you have that mechanical aptitude, that willingness to learn. And those are qualities that are super valued in this field.
It's all about showing how those skills can translate to this new role, like connecting the dots.
Exactly.
And I love that RoleCatcher can actually help you do that. The AI analyzes your experience and then picks out the most relevant examples for you to share.
Right. It helps you tell your story in a way that really resonates with the interviewer. It shows them your potential.
Next question. How do you ensure that lifts are safe for use? I have a feeling this one is a pretty big deal.
It is. Safety is absolutely essential in this job. There's no compromising on that. Your answer needs to show that you get that. You have a deep understanding of the safety rules and the protocols. Think of it like a pilot. A pilot wouldn't even think of taking off without doing a thorough pre-flight check, right? It's the same for a lift technician.
Yeah.
You have to be really thorough, really detail-oriented when you're inspecting, maintaining, and repairing those lifts.
Right.
Because people's lives actually depend on it.
Wow. That's a great analogy. It really hits home just how important safety is in this role.
Absolutely. And be ready for some follow-up questions. They might ask you to describe a specific safety procedure that you follow, or what you would do if you spotted a potential safety hazard.
Okay. Let's go to a more technical question. Can you explain the process for installing a new lift?
Okay.
I'm imagining all these cables and motors and electronics. It seems pretty complex. So how would you explain this without just overwhelming the interviewer with all the technical jargon?
You got to break it down into smaller steps, right? You don't need to go into every tiny detail, but you should give them a clear overview of the main phases. So start with putting the lift car in the hoistway. Then talk about installing those guide rails and the support assemblies. Don't forget about the electrical wiring and connecting all the safety components. And finally, describe how you'd test everything to make sure it's all aligned and working perfectly.
I can picture that aha when the lift finally moves up and down smoothly for the first time after installation. all those complicated parts working together for a smooth ride.
Right. And you can make your answer even better by talking about specific skills or techniques that you've learned in your training or your past jobs.
Okay. Next question. How do you handle complex lift repair projects? This one sounds like it's all about problem solving.
It is. Think of yourself as a detective. You've got this lift that's not working right. The clues are the things that are going wrong. So you got to gather information, analyze the situation, and then use your expertise to figure out the root cause.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come up with a plan, a solution. You got to make sure the lift is not only fixed, but it's running safely and efficiently.
So thinking critically.
Yeah.
Using those diagnostic tools, maybe even getting creative to find the right solution.
Yeah, all of that. And make sure to mention how you handle pressure. Because a broken lift is stressful, the interviewer wants to see that you can handle the challenge and still get the job done.
Now let's talk lift control systems. How would you answer this one? What technical expertise do you have with lift control systems?
This is your chance to shine. This is where you show off your knowledge of like the brains of the whole operation. Talk about specific software, programming languages you're familiar with. You can get a little technical here, but make sure you explain it in a way that someone without a tech background can still understand. You want to show off your expertise, but not lose the interviewer in a bunch of jargon.
Yeah. And RoleCatcher can really help here too. The AI can look at the job description and highlight the exact technical skills they're asking for. So you can tailor your answer to perfectly match what they're looking for. It's almost like having a cheat sheet.
Yeah, it's a fantastic resource for making sure your answers hit the mark and address exactly what the employer needs.
Okay. On to a question about your organizational skills.
Yeah.
How do you prioritize and manage multiple repair requests? Because I imagine things can get pretty hectic in this line of work.
Oh, yeah. This question is testing your time management and how you prioritize. So think about a day where you're getting calls about all these lifts that are down.
Yeah.
You need to have a system for figuring out how urgent each one is. Then you have to decide the best way to fix them and make sure everything gets done in a timely manner.
It's almost like juggling, keeping all those balls in the air without dropping any.
Exactly. You have to be organized, you have to communicate well, and you have to stay calm and focused even when things get crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Let's look at some more safety-related questions. First one. Can you explain the process for conducting a lift safety inspection? I'm guessing this is super detailed.
It is. Think of it like a doctor giving a patient a full checkup. You have to examine every single part of the lift, looking for any signs of wear and tear, damage, anything that could be a safety hazard. This includes the brakes, the cables, the doors, the emergency systems, everything.
So you're basically the guardian of that lift's health, making
Yeah.
sure it's in top shape for everyone who uses it.
Exactly. And don't forget about keeping good records. That's super important in this job. So make sure you mention that you're careful about documenting your findings, writing everything down in a logbook.
Okay. Next safety question. How do you ensure that lifts are compliant with all the relevant safety regulations and standards? I imagine there are tons of rules to keep up with.
Oh, there are. This question is about showing that you know those industry standards and you're serious about sticking to them.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just be good at fixing things. You have to be a responsible professional. And that means putting safety first, always.
So it's not just about fixing lifts, it's about making sure they meet all the requirements to operate legally and safely.
Right. Be ready to talk about specific safety codes or regulations that you know, and highlight how you stay updated on any changes.
So you're constantly learning, making sure you're on top of the latest safety knowledge.
Absolutely. Lifelong learning is so important in this field, especially when it comes to safety.
Okay, here's a chance to share a real-world example.
Yeah.
Can you give an example of a complex lift repair project you have managed? This is your time to really shine.
It is. Pick a project that shows off your technical skills, how you solve problems, and even your leadership skills if you had to work with a team. Think about a really tough situation you faced, how you figured out what was wrong and fixed it, and how you got that lift running smoothly again.
It's like telling a little success story, showing your skills in action.
Right. And even if things didn't go perfectly, you can still talk about what you learned from it, how it made you a better technician.
Okay, last question for this part. How do you stay up to date with changes in lift technology and safety standards? The industry is always evolving, so how do you keep your skills sharp?
Lifelong learning, remember. Talk about any courses or workshops or conferences you've been to. Mention any industry magazines or websites you follow. And don't forget about mentors, those more experienced technicians who have taught you things. If you show that you're willing to learn from others, that really impresses interviewers.
It's all about showing that you're passionate about this field, that you're committed to staying on top of those innovations and best practices.
Absolutely. The more you invest in your own learning, the more valuable you become as a lift technician.
Okay, before we move on to the next set of questions, let's talk about how RoleCatcher can help you with all this.
Oh, yeah.
It's AI is a serious asset for the whole preparation process.
For sure.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket. It helps you craft those answers, practice how you deliver them. It even analyzes those practice videos to point out areas where you can improve.
Right. It takes all the guesswork out of preparing for an interview and gives you a real advantage.
All right. Ready to tackle the next round of questions?
Let's do it. Yeah, it does feel like a bit of a secret weapon, huh? But you gotta put in the work too.
Totally.
Speaking of which, let's get back to those interview questions.
Okay, so let's say the interviewer throws this one at you. Tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult customer or situation. What's your strategy for handling this?
Oh, yeah. The classic behavioral question. They want to see how you handle those tough moments, how you keep your cool under pressure. The key here is to tell a story. Don't just say, like, I'm good with people. Think of a specific example. Was there a time when you had to deal with a really demanding customer, maybe? Or a coworker who wasn't pulling their weight? Tell them about the challenge, how you approached it, and what the outcome was.
So it's not enough to just describe the situation. You have to really showcase those problem-solving skills, your communication skills. Did you listen to what they had to say? Did you offer solutions? Did you try to see things from their perspective?
Exactly. And even if the situation didn't have a perfect ending, you can still talk about what you learned from it, how it made you a better professional. Shows that you're self-aware, you know?
Right. Okay, switching gears to teamwork. How would you answer this?
Ah.
Describe a time when you had to work as part of a team to achieve a common goal.
This is where you show off your team player side. Pick a project where teamwork was really important. What was your role? How did you contribute? Did you step up and take initiative? Did you offer support to others? Did you help smooth over any conflicts? All those things are really valuable to interviewers.
And it has to highlight how your specific skills help the whole team succeed. Did you meet a deadline together? Overcome some unexpected obstacles?
Absolutely. If you can share a positive outcome, it really shows that you know how to work effectively as part of a team.
Okay, next one's a great opportunity to show your dedication. Tell me about a time when you went above and beyond the call of duty.
This is all about showing them that you're committed, that you take initiative. Think of a time when you really exceeded expectations. Maybe you tackled a challenge that wasn't even part of your job description, or came up with a super creative solution.
Maybe you volunteered to help with a really complex task, or put in extra hours to make sure a project was finished on time. Those are the kind of stories that really make an impression.
And don't forget to mention any positive feedback you got. It gives your story more weight.
Okay, getting a bit more technical now. Describe your experience working with different types of lift equipment. Here's where you can showcase your expertise.
Time to get specific. Have you worked with hydraulic lifts? Traction lifts? What about those specialized lifts you see in hospitals or factories? Be ready to talk about the unique features and challenges of each type.
And make sure to mention any newer tech you've worked with. Smart lifts, destination dispatch systems, things like that. It shows you're keeping up with the latest advancements.
And don't forget about any certifications or training you have. Those are super important to mention.
Okay, here's a classic career-focused question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know some people dread this one, but it's really a chance to show your ambition, how your goals match up with the company's.
Exactly. It's not about having some rigid plan, but showing them that you want to grow with the company, develop your skills. Maybe you want to specialize in a particular area or move into a management role. The key is to show that you're thinking ahead.
And it's also a great opportunity to ask them about potential growth paths within the company. Shows you're really interested in building a career there.
Right. It's a two-way street. You're showing them your ambition, but you're also getting information so you can make a good decision if they offer you the job.
Speaking of which, how can RoleCatcher's AI help with these behavioral and career-focused questions?
It's actually amazing for that. It can analyze your experience and then suggest specific examples that fit the question and what employers are looking for. It can even help you practice your answers and give feedback on how you deliver them, even your body language.
It's like having that personalized coach helping you nail those tricky questions and present yourself in the best possible light.
Exactly. It takes away a lot of the stress and gives you that extra edge.
Okay, you ready for the final round of questions?
Bring it on.
All right, here's the one everyone dreads. What are your salary expectations? How do you answer this without selling yourself short or, pricing yourself out of the running?
Do your research. Look at websites like RoleCatcher, salary surveys, things like that. Get a sense of what lift technicians with your experience level are making in your area. Think about your skills, your certifications, anything that makes you stand out.
So it's not just about throwing out a number. It's about knowing your worth based on your qualifications and what the market's like.
Exactly. And when you answer, give them a range instead of a specific number. Like, based on my experience, I'm looking for a salary between X and Y. Be ready to explain why you think that's fair and highlight what makes you a valuable asset.
Okay, here's a question that a lot of people don't take seriously enough. Do you have any questions for me?
Hmm.
This isn't just a formality. It's your chance to show them that you're really interested in the position and the company.
And to get more information, ask about things like company culture, their plans for growth, opportunities for professional development, anything that helps you decide if this is the right place for you.
Some good questions could be, what are the company's plans for the future? Or, what are the chances to learn and grow here? Or even, what's the team like?
Exactly. Showing them you've thought about these things really shows your engagement and that you're taking this seriously.
And finally, the big one. Why should we hire you? This is your closing argument, your chance to leave a lasting impression.
This is where you sum up all your strengths and show how they match what the job needs. Briefly remind them of your key skills and experiences and why those make you the perfect candidate. And don't be afraid to show your enthusiasm. Let them know you're excited about this opportunity and eager to help them succeed.
It's your chance to convince them that you're not just qualified, but you're passionate and ready to hit the ground running.
Exactly. Leave them with no doubt that you're the best person for the job.
Before we move on, let's circle back to RoleCatcher. How can their AI help with these last few tricky questions, like salary expectations and that why should we hire you question?
RoleCatcher is amazing for that. The AI can look at your profile, the job description, and suggest really strong reasons for your salary expectations. It'll highlight your most valuable skills. It can even help you craft that "why should we hire you" statement so it's tailored to that specific company and role.
It's like having a personal PR agent, making sure you present yourself in the most persuasive way.
Exactly. It's all about giving yourself the best possible chance to land that dream job.
All right, on to the last part of our deep dive. Let's wrap it all up. All right, so we've talked about a lot today, what it means to be a lift technician, how to tackle those tough interview questions. But before we finish our deep dive, let's recap some key takeaways so you can really nail that interview.
Yeah, good idea. Okay, first thing, safety, safety, safety. Got to make it clear you understand those safety rules and protocols, inside and out. And it's not just about knowing them. It's about showing that safety's always top of mind for you in everything you do.
Absolutely. Second takeaway, show off your technical skills. Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Get specific.
Yeah.
Talk about the types of lifts you've worked with, what you're good at, any certifications you have. It's all about proving you have the knowledge to really succeed in this role.
Right. And third, those problem-solving skills.
Yeah.
Really important. Walk them through how you troubleshoot problems. Show them you can think critically, come up with solutions. Because remember, a lift breaking down, that's a high-pressure situation. You got to show them you can stay calm and handle it.
Yeah, for sure. Fourth takeaway, don't forget those soft skills. Being a lift technician isn't just about the technical stuff. It's also about how you communicate, work with others, how you treat customers, show them you can be a team player, handle tough situations smoothly, and provide top-notch service.
Absolutely. And finally, let that enthusiasm shine through.
Yep.
Show them why you're excited about this field, this opportunity, how you're ready to jump in and contribute to their success. Passion and dedication, those go a long way.
I love that. Now, here's a final thought as you get ready for that interview. Don't just think about getting the job. Think about the kind of lift technician you want to be. What kind of work gets you excited?
Yeah.
Do you see yourself working with those cutting-edge smart lifts, those complex systems in skyscrapers?
Or maybe you're more drawn to those older buildings, restoring those historic lifts. Some people thrive in that fast-paced environment, always on the go. Others prefer a company that focuses on mentoring and training. Take some time to think about what you value, what your goals are, what kind of company culture would be the best fit for you.
That's such a good point. It's not just about a job. It's about finding the right place for you, your
Yeah.
personality, your goals, and don't forget about those resources like RoleCatcher.
Ooh, yeah.
They can really help you tailor your approach for each company and each role.
Absolutely. Use those tools, research the companies, practice your answers, and walk into that interview confident, knowing you've done everything you can to get ready.
The world of lift technology is full of possibilities. With the right preparation and a clear idea of what you want, you can not only ace that interview, you can start an amazing career, a rewarding one.
So go for it, explore what's out there, and get ready to take your career to the next level.